doesn't change the fact that you both put the coach on my leg. Because it hadn't any sense. With my illness healing around of factual is a stroke of luck. Besides, you have seen the hospitals here once in your life. You have an answer. Better is to die on the street, but never visit that place. For sure, I will not die because of bad luck. But this is killing everywhere. Yeah, it's a total. I'm not good in reading this type of languages from Cyrillic. Topshur sokup brain. Tindap ukshan karajai. Tolu sizin aydayn. Toktop uksan karajai. Yeah, but E without point is read like serious, I'm not language. I can't. When I use languages with Greek alphabet, I use languages with Greek alphabet. And when I use with Latin, I use with Latin. I can't translate it over. Anyway, I speak now in Latin. So E without point up is read like E. The Greek alphabet absolutely is unable to reproduce sound of Turkmen and Mongolian languages. Perhaps there was no greater stupidity in history than imposing the Cyrillic alphabet on Turkmen and Mongolian languages. That's why you have all these funny extra lines, many funny lines. In fact, the Scots were also forbidden to use Gaelic for many centuries, but it has returned. Today it's normal. You are driving down the road and see signs in both languages. People as well are thought it was prohibited. They spoke with spoken that languages in the families. That's why this language, actual languages, because it's Irish Gaelic and Scottish Gaelic survive. Here, however, language did not return in the version in which it was created, because the originations were really completely stamped out. So we have lines, and more lines. I don't like European poetry. Shakespeare is hardly a poet. He's a playwright. But I understand his work strangely. I don't understand Western European poetry at all. Maybe some poems, but not a poetry. I'm a fan of keeping it short and to the point. It sounds very different when I read books. Sometimes there will be no more books. It's too difficult. I love haiku, as well Chinese poem, and some ghazal. Ghazal in the Muslim meaning does not only mean antelope, but is also reference to something beautiful. This antelope is a symbol of beauty. There is a lot of mysticism and references in the culture of Middle and Far East. Even names mean something. In Europe, only some old Russian names mean something. All Gaelic names mean something. Identifying personality. Of course, a tiger or a lion. Even in Judaism, God descends to earth in the form of a lion. There is nothing about a human. The word Aslan literally means God's lion, hence to the origin of international Muslim or our Islam, which is closer in sound, for sure. Name without meaning is a bit like they stole your soul. Even when I'm naming a dog, a cat or a horse, when they come to the shelter, I look at their personality. Nowadays, the greatest ghazal writers are undoubtedly His Highness Muhammad Al Maktoum and His Highness Prince Handam Al Maktoum. We should leave it. We should leave subject of Christus for another time. But trust me, it's not to the end. So simple, and it as well created problem in the history of church. For example, for Armenian, he's just a prophet, although the Orthodox Christian as we. So we can leave it. Actually, it changed when came to transcription of Bible at Latin language. It changed then. So very late. Sincerely, I can't imagine God in a human creature. Yeah, of course, Orthodox Church paint Sophia, but we as well should leave it. It's as well another difficult subject. Maybe we will leave it when we will speak about Haggargut or the differences about, or maybe about architecture of our church and how much it's similar to Moscow. But now we leave it. Hurrem Sultan and Suleyman left over 3,000 letters written in verse. These people addressed each other in this way. Probably nowadays, if a husband wrote a poem to his wife about what he does every day and sent it or left it, people will say that he is crazy. About wife, probably they would say the same. Maybe when she got flowers from my father, she knew that he was cheating on her. Yes, always was like that. My father had absolutely no memory of dates. When I grew up, I kept a calendar for him and bought gifts on his behalf, even on the occasion of Christmas. No, my grandparents used to buy me gifts, and when they left, the gifts were gone. My mother had absolutely no interest in what I was doing. That's why she had a problem with the gifts. She interested in you because she found out that there won't be a husband and won't be there forever. I hope that she doesn't. I want to use that word, but maybe I will. Because for the first time in her life, she has found true friends who won't betray her like 99% of her surroundings. She even stated not long ago that she has a phone full of contacts, but no one likes her, and they only need something Selim Serayi was by far the better castle writer, but he is not as popular as Suleyman. He wasn't that sultan. On contrary, he captured Cyprus, he and the Battle of Shigadvar, and is should to mention about Lepanto. The nonsense written by Western chronicles is no longer being repeated. Today we know that Lepanto was unresolved battle. There was a draw. The Sultan returned to the country because, as usual, he had to. I agree in his case with the words which told, according to tradition, Mahidevran Sultan about him. He was Suleyman's successor. Whoever would have succeeded Suleyman would have been compared to him, and no one would have tamed him. That's true. Selim had no historical chance. It's like the first years of Vienna. Suleyman fulfills his alliance with Jagiellons here, supports Isabella Jagiellonian Sapolia. He would take the city if he wanted to, for sure, but he didn't want it. It was show of power. However, he presented a show of strength to such an extent that the people who lived in Vienna built something that they are ashamed of even now. And it was the most beautiful and expensive residence of the Renaissance. Gawda, my favorite place in Vienna. You know that almost 80% of showroom is part of Neogawda. There was everything. It was copy of Topkapi, Sarai, but of course maybe not inside, because inside was typical Renaissance castle, but outside. Because architect simply was not inside. He could heard something about Alhambra, but it was a different style of architecture. So actually it's possible to say that it was mix of Alhambra and Renaissance. This is the beginning of a rivalry as well. The France will eventually take over, put a hand on it, and use one against the other to keep Habsburg in check. Always, the whole history until let's say that first La Grande Guerra, First World War ended that alliance, but always France will be cooperated with Turkey to that moment. Maybe not officially, but always. It's possible to understand it. The Valois and then the Bourbon are surrendered by Habsburgs. Poem is probably the most famous. According to the legend, Suleyman was reciting it as Hürrem was dying. She was the first sultana buried in the royal crypt. Selim introduced that tradition. Muslims mostly don't behave like that. Her heart rested as she wished in her husband's coffin. It is also Selim. It wasn't until after the series that tours began to show the crypts and the Suleymaniye as well, which long before the Taj Mahal was a symbol of love. The young couples in Turkey often visit this place. Thanks God as well tourists. Before just tourists who visited city on their own, if I have knowledge. No, probably when I was last time in Turkey, it was still on your own. This is one of few poems that reached the courts of Europe shortly after the death of a ruler, Henry Tudor, who left his correspondence with Hürrem, had a fragment of it as well. She was the only woman to who he turned to the highly respectable. You're very devoted. He even didn't write something like that to any of his wives, even to Jane Seymour, who he loved so much. In some letters, he even used rude words. It was even a joke at the English court that Suleyman wanted what Henry had, and Henry wanted what Suleyman had, but Suleyman would not give Hürrem. It's probably the true. One desired many sons, the other one. Their system of existence created something like that. The next one is definitely now as the last poem of Suleyman. Few people know that it's arrived in slightly changed form as a funeral form of Habsburg family. It's a joke of history, possible to say that. They still use it, of course. Court poetry of Osman dynasty is rarely published. This is because at that time Turkish language was actually a composite language of Greek, Persian, Arabic, and of course Turkish. It was purified by Atatürk. That's why for translate it you need to know all these languages. It's even different studies in Turkey about language from Osman dynasty. Poems with even good translation can be heard on the official YouTube channel of the series in episode Death Sense. Yeah, but this is how the soul of great warrior and good ruler, good warrior is reborn. And anyway, in good nobleman in a horse. It is Muslim, but what is interestingly also a Catholic British tradition. In the final of the movie King Arthur, we seen horses at the end, and for that because of that, Most Europeans, however, do not understand such references longer. Although, interestingly, the Renaissance and the Baroque periods were full of such metaphors. Yes, Sinan or his student built the Taj Mahal after Suleyman. I wrote 2 ghazals in my life, one for my father's funeral. In my priest said that finally someone from the pulpit who was in the priest said something meaningful, and priest here has a good artistic sense. He can even bring a choir of Gregorians to a concert. And one more. I never read it again. Let the other one lie down. Throughout Vienna. Yeah, your trip is amazing. Or maybe I should write a book about 2 weeks. Ukraine, Romania, Hungary, Austria, Czech Republic too. Met her husband. But I have only an experience on Trans-Siberia. So, you can read it in English language. I thought for me, Turkish poetry not sound well in English. And never try to translate Vargit Olum, because that it's difficult to call it poem, because it as well a song. It's not possible to translate it at English, simply because it not give meaning. It's old text and bore many metaphors which not exist in English culture. That's why it's difficult to translate it. Anyway, let's read the most famous poem. My well-smelling fragrance, my present, my love, my strong shining moon, my mahram, my confidant, my gift, my beautiful queen, my life, my remaining love, my kafshar wine, my paradise, my spring, my joy, my rose, my beautiful rose, all my laughing rose, my tree, my soul partner, my garden rose. Yes, garden rose in Orthodox Church and Muslim tradition in paradise. Yes, it's meaning of paradise. That's why I told. It's really difficult to translate poems of that era from Middle East and Ottoman dynasty time, and as well some old Russian text to languages used today, because it simply people forgot what metaphors and some words not existed longer. My desire, my most precious pearl, my morning, my conversation, my evening, my gladness, my good time, my divan. Divan in our language means couch, sofa. In Polish it's carpet. But in Turkish it means parliament. Probably that's why we called it sofa, carpets, because in the parliaments were sofas and carpets, and on the beginning when Turks existence step in tent, they used to speak on carpets probably. My lantern, my sun, my candle, my orange, my pomegranate, my candle of bedroom, my knowledge, my ruler, my secret, my revelation, my prize, my sultan, my padishah, my emir, my life in this world, my flora, my sweetness, my treasure, my peace in this world, my dear, my complaint, my present, my home in my soul, my Istanbul, my Karaman, my Anatolia, my Badakhshan, my Kipchak, and my Baghdad, my Khorasan, this beautiful hair, these beautiful eyes, these beautiful blessed eyes. I am sick. If I die, my sin is yours. Help me, oh my beautiful non-Muslim darling. I always talk about you. I will always praise you. My soul pains, my fog envelop my eyes. I am a man of life. I am in a darkness. Yes, that part is probably the most famous. Suleyman wrote my no-Muslim darling, and actually it's taken dreams of historians around the world until today. Why? Because it can mean that Hürrem, the end of her life, didn't convert at Muslim religion. Someone believe. We probably will never know it. We should turn to the past and ask that famous pair of lovers. Everything what we know, that Suleyman changed the right, and thanks that he is now in the East as Kanui, because Muslim men could marry women who were not Muslim but were of religions of books. Because like Henry Tudor, he wanted to marry that woman, so he changed the right. He could it because in that time he was as well ruler of Mecca. He had Mecca, so he was let's speak like we speak to people who has no idea about East. So let's someone who has Mecca, we can say that is someone like but they will not understand our like a pope for Western churches, so can give the orders. So he gave a fatwa and changed the right. Muslim women can't marry men from other religion, simply because no one think about it in that moment. Well, there is a problem, because if she wanted to be a regent, and she was a regent of that country for the 10 years, she should be Muslim. but we as well know that exists possibility. Some papers were found several years ago that their first son, that who was killed by Mahidevran, Mehmed, was as well Baptist. So we will never know if she changed that religion or not. Maybe she stayed as a Christian. She was Orthodox Christian from the beginning. She was daughter of Orthodox priest. As for the historians, not for us to speak about it. So, because no one will write something like that for me, still I'm waiting for Kaga, and there will be no second husband. If we add to that custom, yeah, I saw what he did on the garden. She is no better. Nobody can stand with them. So no one would want to be my husband. And we have over two interesting poems too. I found two. Okay. Heart of my heart, you are leaving me walking, swinging. Oh, the one who adds to her friends' lives, don't go to the rose gardens without me. I don't want you to. Oh, heavens, do not revolve without me. I don't want it. Oh, the moon, do not rise without me. I don't want it. Oh, the earth, I do not stop. Oh, the earth, do not stop without me. Don't pass without me. Oh, the time. Don't want. Oh, the time. I don't want it. Why you are with me, both this world and the other one are beautiful for me. I don't want it. Don't be without me in this world. Don't go to that world without me. I don't want it. I don't want it. Oh, the bridles, do not ride without me. I don't want it. Oh, the tongue, do not read without me. I don't want it. Oh, my eyes, do not see without me. Do not fly away without me. Oh, my soul, I don't want it. It's your light that gives the moons its own darling the night. Since I'm the night and you are my moon, do not go to the sky without me. I don't want it. You who knows the path I will walk, you the light of my path, you on my walking stack. Don't go without me. I don't want it. It's as well possible to understand when someone knows his tradition. Probably of East when will be Warsaw. The darkness of the night is the light of your darkness, Suleyman. A divine light of the moon is from the divine light of you, meeting with your love. For this reason they became messenger, your sins and murders. What a night is this, but even the heavens wished to watch my spiritual heavens, and became unstable. I, my son, faced by my saint, I, the sultan of my spirit, my love, who even checkmates, shahs, where are you? Hear me, take me by your side. The angel on my right side and the devil on the left side. Where did you go? Hear my voice. Reach your up, I cannot stop the death. This is very difficult. Zresztą maybe when I speak about Hegel good. When also as well the last one. Probably the series, I think that the son of Suleyman in that series is one of few in the cinematography which show in the greatest way the depth of someone. That is my opinion. I thought that series has up and fall, and sometimes was too long, sometimes it was mistakes in the history, and sometimes was created people who never existed. But first scene was one of you perfect in the whole cinematography world. Well, America has no problem with the movies. They gone in the fantasy and effects mostly. I'm afraid that we have a problem with make normal movie. Really, Scott is older man now, and Last Duel was his film, but in bad time. Well, it was very good, great, like all his movies, historical movies, but this is not so often. I'm Suleyman, son of Sultan Selim Khan, born from Sultana Hafsa, the 10th Sultan of the Ottoman dynasty, Lord of the world, the one who tamed east and west, the one who is of the earth will return to the earth. I'm Suleyman. The voice of my friends call me. What will happen to the heart of a man when he dies? What will be left when the blood drains and the soul falls? Mind is not enough to solve this case. Only your heart knows the truth. It's a big festivity and reunion. It's a prayer to a wonderful life that few people can enjoy. The sky above me, a breeze among my branches. My roads are in the deepest corners. I'm Suleyman. I take my love and friendship with me, no the throne or crown. I'm going to wake up now. People should realize that. They should know and remember. The Sultanate has come to the end. The sadness of loss has passed away. The dream has ended. The Sultanate and the crown are no more. I came to the world empty-handed. I leave it empty-handed. Only a lamp of oil will remain. Let everyone know that Suleyman passed away from this world, a more subject of the Almighty of God, Suleyman. Yes, that last part survived in the funeral traditional form of Habsburg's family when they came to Augustinerkirche before the door, and they asked who came, and the person who is stand before the church answered in the name of that a person who is dead with whole titles, and priest inside answered, I don't know what person who came, and when that man outside told now name of that person again is the same, and at the end when is saying I'm mere subject of Almighty God came, and when doors are open. Actually whole elite and whole gilded nobility forget that they will not take crown with them. Probably words look like that, and probably we had that many ended in psychiatric in the last few years because they had a problem when we discovered that death exists. In our culture, we know that death exists, what's different between West and East, as well in between Orthodox churches and everything that is on the West now. We not forget about it. You know that life must end. Mostly. That is now a problem with oligarchy as well, but sometimes we forget. But mostly in our culture death is something normal. 10th. Yeah. 10th. Feast on 10th on each exists per person since Roman Empire, but each one from the ruler, from the each dynasty, Scali dynasty, each dynasty will conquest Constantinople and will be ruler of that city. First and the 10th of each dynasty will be the most powerful of whole the family, and after the 10th will come end of the golden era, fall of the empire and wait for the new rulers and the new empire. If you will look at the history of that city from the name Byzant, because the first name of Constantinople was Byzant, later Istanbul, we will discover that really is something in that proportion. what first and tenth from each family who ruled vastly were the most Constantine, Justinian, Suleyman, Fatih, it's possible to like what times. So really something like what is possible to say what papacy actually exists as well another papacy that Constantinople and is in Rome Colosseum. This building as well will stand till the end of world and one day longer. We'll see. That really survived many earthquakes. So we'll see. So, because we discover what again, no one will marry it, because it's impossible. No one will read something like that. We will return to searching for a Kagan, or maybe we'll come to my monastery because what? No, I will not pretending what brother of what was not my great grandfather. Sincerely, I don't miss any part of Wallachia, for sure. Oh, it's enough that thanks him we get a special gift for centuries, and we must die in that way, not other way. Because survives just one for a long time. We will left that, or we will speak about right of Constantine.